I wanted to start off today by asking a question. If you could ask God for anything, what would it be? You see, I was studying Genesis chapter 18, and in that chapter, particularly verses 24 through 26, you find Abraham arguing with God in prayer over the city of Sodom and Gomorrah. And God is about to destroy those cities, and Abraham knows that Lot and his family are living there. And Abraham is arguing with God there, and he's saying, will you sweep away the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50? What if there are 20? What if there are 10? And he goes on, and God says, if there are 50 there, I will spare them for the sake of... Anyhow, so often our prayers that we raise to God are me-focused. God help me out of this situation. What is it that, my needs, my hurts, my wants. Now, don't get me wrong. Those are very important. Those are a very important part of prayer. Prayer is giving these things to God, and we have to bring our daily bread things to God for God to do these things. And if you don't, you're missing out on a good part of prayer. But praying on behalf of someone else, that's an important part of prayer too, that we often miss out on. And it's called intercessory prayer. And if you're not good at it, you really need to get brushed up on it. Praying on behalf of other people outside of the church, outside of your community, it's something a lot of Christians don't do very well anymore. And it's this kind of prayer that, we really need to do more often. A lot of times we see something on Facebook and somebody says, pray for me, and we just type in praying. And that's as far as it goes, and we don't really say a prayer. We really need to sit down and pray for somebody. It may be for an individual, an upcoming event, a specific group. This kind of prayer is incredibly important for a church. There's some churches that have incredible intercessory prayer ministries. Abraham wasn't afraid of being bold to ask for things before God. 6 times Abraham asked God for mercy on behalf of a huge city that was embarked for destruction, and God answered. If only this group of people would be found. Unfortunately, God couldn't find that many people. God responded to Abraham's bold prayers. You want a good practice? Turn on the news. Pick up a newspaper. What bold questions is God asking you to pray for in your community or your city or your nation? Our nation certainly needs a whole heap of prayers. You may not know the names or individual stories or what's going on, but you can boldly ask the one who does know what's going on in those situations, because one doesn't always have to know what the need is before you ask God for the prayers. The question is, are you willing to step out in faith to pray for someone else?